All right, everybody. This is the second game of, the second match of our. What? What is it? Oh, yes, our red bracket. And it's going to be Pixelandy against Rahmations. We've already had one match, and now it is time for the second one. So there you go. Both players are ready. I am ready. Everybody else is ready. We've locked in a prize pool over 2,000, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Gerald Freeman waits in the wings, and we'll play the winner of this immediately after. Gerald having defeated Tugi. Poor DAS player getting caught up in some big boy stuff here. So this is game 5 of our septuple header. Which means after this, just 2 more games for your old pal vandweller. Not used to streaming this long. Going on 3 hours, I guess it's not that long. 3 hours, 46 minutes. And so there's be this and 2 more, so it's probably another 3 hours. Well, actually, CTT2 will probably... I mean, there won't be extended kill screen sequences in there. God, I hope not. Or I have no chance. Rahmations at the top of the board. I'm sitting here talking about who knows what, and Rahmations is out of this game already. Just piling up high, and there's no place for anything. Rahmations tops out 32,000. Pixelandy is good. So there you go. Warm up out of the way. All right, game 2. They're already ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. The authorization word for this one was suffer. So hopefully this is not cursing. We got to get that out of there, okay? Professor L, are you listening? You got to get this out of there. I suppose I should report this one. If I can remember, it just happened. You'd think I'd remember everything, but there it is. All right, we are in the early phase of game 2. Rahmations 70,000, Pixelandy 50,000, and now a Tetris 75. Rahmations will Tetris again, and we got 2 hands. We got 2 sets of hands on our screen right now, so that's pretty exciting for those hand fans. Rahmations appears to be kind of rolling and tapping. So appears to be kind of tapping for like the 1 and 2 taps, and then, for the 5 to the left or 4 to the right or whatever, appears to be rolling for those. So true hybrid, although probably rollers do that anyway, right? You don't need to roll all the time. And you've got Andy straight tapping here, but the glove at the ready. So should rolling become sort of an emergency measure, or it gets to kill screen? Expect the grip switch to happen. Gerald Freeman says, I roll 1 taps. No, but you can roll 1 taps. People do. You just smack the bottom of the controller, you know, the same way. You just do one. People do that. And then you can tap it just by holding the controller against your hands and then just pressing like you normally press, which is what Rahmations appears to be doing. Mr. Brain says, I want to see a player that puts the glove on right before 29. Yeah, like they go barehanded and then they literally put the glove on. Like, try to find... I bet Dog could do it. He does a lot of things, you know, while he's playing. He's hitting spins while he's like typing and reaching over to grab stuff across the room. Yeah, maybe there are certain gloves that are like perfect for tapping and other gloves that are great for rolling, and so you kind of change gloves mid-game. $337 Andy, $360 for Rahmations. Rahmations up near the top of the board again, almost deja vu, but gets a long bar down the bottom. And another one for a Tetris, and is set up for a third. Andy with the eye tuck, which sounds like a cosmetic surgery, but it's in fact a Tetris move. $392 for Pixel Andy, $458 for Rahmations. Andy Tetris. Andy trying to get to the semifinals. And is on the opposite side of the bracket from his brother Dog. So trying to set up maybe another hermano y hermano match. Rahmations into 19, a little bit of a high board, but should be playable. Plenty of burns available, and gets him and gets the Tetris. 607 Rahmations here on 20. Andy just trying to take a safe route into 19. Looks like he's found it. Rahmations Tetris 616 to 21. Andy 548 heading into 20. So Rahmations ahead by about a level. All right, Tetris Andy 601 into 21. Rahmations already deep into 22. There's a Tetris for Andy 632. There's one for Rahmations 753. All right. Somebody with a loud truck. Somebody in my apartment complex with a very loud truck. Unnecessarily loud. And there's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do? Say, hey, your truck's loud, sir. I mean, they know that already. That's like kind of the point. All right, Rahmations here with the Tetris 850 has a sizable lead over Pixel Andy, but is ahead by about 14, 15 lines. You figure that's 4 Tetrises worth, and that's, you know, 4 Tetrises is about what? 4 times 120,000. So there's definitely a lead for Rahmations, a pace lead. Tetris 953. Rahmations here on 26. Andy with a good-looking board, but getting kind of high on that board. And is just looking for the bar. Getting droughted. Finally gets the bar. Tetris 777 for Andy. 987 for Rahmations on 27. Andy 10 lines behind. And now 13 lines behind. Andy in dig mode here in game 2. Rahmations into level 28 at 1.08. And I am experiencing some frames, so there you go. Apologies for the frames. Hopefully the stream is back. And it's a great time for the stream to be messy. So thank you, Internet. And Andy trying to figure out, switching to rolling here. Rahmations at 1.1 here on 29. And Andy maybe too little too late with the rolling this high up. And yeah, he's going to top out with 8 something. And Rahmations is good and gets the first heart on the right side of the screen. All right, we got 2 ready players. What was once a best of 5 is now a best of 3. Let us count it down. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, 1 push down point for Pixel Andy. And Andy loves those pixels. He loves them. 71,000 for him, 69,000 for Rahmations. All right, Rahmations getting up a little bit high on the board, so having to take a few burns. Need something too deep. There it is. Open up the right side, and just one more long bar, and there it is. 97 for Rahmations, and another Tetris 120. Andy at 122, now Tetrising. Adjustment by Andy to make room for that square. Rahmations board all over the place. And Andy clean, Tetrising. It's a chance for Andy to put some distance here between himself and Rahmations. Rahmations still cleaning. Oh, Andy with the spiral in there, column 3 and 4. It's really Monka place to put that thing, but able to get the board down, no problem. And all right, everything seems to be worked out on the left, and bang, Tetris for Andy, 266. Rahmations finally out of the dig. And just waiting, getting, Tetrising. Rahmations, 206. There's one for Andy, 291. So Andy up by about 85,000. And a few more lines for Andy on the board, though. Tetris for each. About an 87,000 point lead for Andy. And like 10 lines in the future, though. That's about 2 to 3 Tetrises, which is about, 67,000. And so that's a real lead for Andy. Having to do real-time math in my head, which I can't do, but I have to do it for Tetris and poker. So I don't know why I should actually just study math and know how to do math, but I don't. A 387 for Andy. Bang Tetris. Rahmations cleaning mode, but will be set up again. There we go. Andy up by over 100,000 points now, but again, ahead by 11 lines. Still, it's a lead for real. All right, Andy at 504, Rahmations at 400. 105,000 point lead for Andy, ahead by 12 lines. 13 lines to go for Pixel Andy, former CTM champ, CTWC runner-up. And runner-up in what was a double elimination setup for most of the tournament through the to get to the top 8. I mean, that is no fluke, my friends. Pixel Andy is for real. We got a frozen cam, I guess, on one side of the board. That's okay, no worries. Keep it going. Andy into transition here, 563, respectable. But up a little bit high. There's a Tetris. And Rahmations looking for one last Tetris. There it is. 523 transition for Rahmations. And here we go. We are in the post 19 realm. Is it a realm? Maybe. All right, Rahmations Tetris 575, level 20. Andy trying to burn this down. And we'll burn it down and get set up. No problem. Purple level. Bang Tetris. Andy 703. Rahmations 607. 10 lines back. Andy would love to just maintain this lead. So far, so good for Andy. 759. Just take this lead all the way through. Rahmations 662 on 22. And Andy rolling here on 19. $851 for Andy, $719 for Rahmations. And another one, so $880. Rahmations trying to stay within 100,000 points. And look for an opportunity to close that gap. Tetris Rahmations 810. Andy is was in a little bit of a burn. And Rahmations is able to bring some of that or just get some of that lead back, or take some of that lead away from Andy. Rahmations a little high. That gap is a bit pesky. That's only going to be a triple. 965 Andy, 865 Rahmations. Andy 13 lines ahead, which now is about 100,000 points. So it's actually pretty close, and in a lot of ways Rahmations, you know, it could be said to, you know, be almost in the lead in a way, just pace wise, but losing that with this dig and Andy adding on. Andy's got the 1,000,000 points here on 28. Rahmations pace rapidly depleting. There's a Tetris though, going to make up some of it. 948 into 28. And we'll see what is possible for each of these players post 28. Andy set up for the Tetris. He's just going to take the burn. He's in for the long haul. Oh, that O placement for Andy, and just pieces over the left. A69 top out for Andy. 1,069,000. And here we go. Rahmations. The target is 1,070,000. And this is, you know, something that you can single and double your way to. It'll take a minute, but can be done. And Rahmations into level 30. Well, you know, it used to be such a rare accomplishment. A level 30 now is just routine. 1,070,000 is the target. And Rahmations is kind of singling and doubling. The best thing here is to just zone out. Zone everything out. And, you know, just move the pieces, put them where they go. Keep it low. Oh, setting up for the Tetris, though. And, oh, no, Rahmations getting droughted. There is the Tetris A80. That almost didn't go Rahmations' way. But Rahmations going to chase that down on level 32, setting up for the Tetris. Miles the Great says, this is the worst feeling. Yes, indeed. Where it's like, all right, I'm going to go for it. I think I've got the Tetris. Maybe a very slightly risky move to do it. I know a long bar is coming, and then it doesn't. But it finally did for Rahmations. So level 32 chase down for Rahmations. GG's. 2-1 lead for Rahmations going into game 4. All right, we got 2 ready players here in game 4. Rahmations up 2-1 over Pixel Andy. Here in the red bracket, Gerald Freeman waits in the wings for the winner of this one. Let's go. 3-2-1 Tetris. Players building their first setups here in game 4. Andy with 2. Andy setting up the T spin, but no T is coming. There's the T. At least you can fill in the T hole with that. Tetris for Andy, 73,000. Rahmations gonna Tetris here to get to 91,000. And we are making our way through this septuple header. This is our 5th match. 4 hours in, not so bad. I'm making it. Listen, am I as high energy as I normally am? You know, Vandy the hype machine? Nah, maybe not. But, you know, we're getting through it. It's the end of the month. We got matches to do, and damn it, I'm here to do them. $147, Pixel Andy. 145 for Rahmations. I don't even know, what is a Rahmation? have a channel going on, temporary fun channel in the CTM Discord for people to explain what their, why they chose their screen names or what it means or whatever. But I haven't seen anything from Rahmations, unless I missed it. All right, 237 Rahmations after a Tetris. Here's another one, and one for Andy. So 242 for Andy, 260 Rahmations. Hi, Gonzi, what's going on? Ivory 99 is here. Welcome. 310 for Andy, 308 for Rahmations. Both are going to Tetris. So that is what I would call neck and neck. Art of the Troll is here. All right, Tetris Andy 380, Rahmation 377, Tetris. So, I mean, it's still neck and neck. I'm doing very well today. Ivory, how are you doing? And yeah, separated by, 1 or 2,000 points. And really, same exact score, same exact lines. 473, 100. Rahmation's going to Tetris, though. All right, weathering a little bit of RNG here, but making it work. Rahmations the roller. Andy on tapping right now. Z-spin Andy. Andy, though, building up about a 60,000 point lead, just under 3 Tetrises. Rahmations should get this down fairly quickly, though. Andy will transition 614 and a 562 transition for Rahmations. So very big transition for Andy and fairly big transition for Rahmations is how I would characterize that. Andy with some burns. And would love to get something down the well, and does. 669 Andy, 614 Rahmations. Opening up the right side, bang Tetris 642 here on level 21. King's been enjoying the long stream. Just like we used to do back in the day. Back in the day, there was, Rahmation's going to miss with that square. That is an immediate emergency. And now in a little bit of trouble. 703 Rahmation, was just getting it back together, getting, within shouting distance of Andy here. And that is going to slow down that attempt again. And Andy was in burning mode as well, and that would have been a great opportunity. Instead, Rahmations going to spend that time burning as well. Andy out of it, and Tetris is 779. Rahmations uncovers a buried Tetris, but is going to be burying it again. That left side could be tricky. Gets the long bar over. You always worry about that long bar sticking there. And there it is, Dirty Tetris, Rahmations. A lot of burns to get there, though. And, oh, Rahmations puts that long bar in column 2 instead of column 1. So that is going to be a little tricky as well, and just extra stuff to have to deal with. 764 Rahmations on 25, 830, now 862 for Andy on 26. Rahmations with the dirty setup has to take it down, though. And at this point, maybe just try to get a decent board, you know, going so you can get into 29 and have a fighting chance. Now back over 100,000 points. And, you know, and ahead in lines as well. So that's kind of fighting against Rahmations too. Igonzi, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Igonzi says, Vandy saved Tetris. Oh, that's very nice. $976 Andy, 867 Rahmations into 29. Low board, a little messy, but dealable with. Andy with the max out A16 here on 29. And Rahmations board getting a little bit out of control. That left side so tough right now. Going to bring it down a level. That could help. And I'm not sure Rahmations is going to survive this and won't. Tops out 883. Andy going to force a decider. Ubane, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. A 7-month subscriber. Deal withable. Andy going for that Tetris. And Andy going to top out here on level 31. No problem. And yeah, Andy with the decider, forcing it against Rahmations. All right, we got 2 ready players, hovering 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And yeah, it costs you nothing over and above your Amazon Prime sub, but it does help out a streamer. And so, you know, use it for someone. If you're not going to use it for us, you know, at least use it for someone. Don't let it go to waste, because it goes right into Bezos's pocket. And why do that when you can put it in Vandy's pocket or Pokimane or whoever? Those 2 deserving people. All right, Rahmations getting, yeah, those are the 2 choices of Twitch, Pokimane or Vandy. Brevin E with the Prime sub. Thank you so much, Brevin. Van, I'm at Applebee's tonight. What do you recommend for a man that is watching his weight? Just get a steak. Put a lot of butter on it. If you really want vegetable, get some broccoli. Be all good. $74,000 for Pixelandy, $92,000 for Rahmations. Tomato basil soup is the exact wrong choice. That is like the total wrong choice for you, Kingsman. That's fine. I mean, you can lose weight doing that. It's just very difficult because it depends so much on willpower. And you know, you have so much willpower, but at some point you do run out. 191 for Pixel Andy, 231 for Rahmations. Both are going to Tetris. King, why sit there and eat tomato soup when you could lose weight just eating a bunch of steak? Come on, man. Join me on the meat side. I mean, tomato basil is, you know, pasta sauce. That's not a soup. You may as well just drink a jar of like Prego jarred sauce or something. 310 Pixel Andy, 346 for Rahmations. Rahmations with the Tetris, 369. This is a decider here in level 1. Game Scout with the Prime sub, 8 months. Thanks so much, Game Scout. What a man, what a fan. 341 Pixel Andy, 416 Rahmations. Rahmations with the Tetris. T over on the left side looks really good. Andy Tetris. Oh, miss kind of early shift with Rahmations. If that was a DAS player, then you're just trying to get a wall charge or something, but it's not. It's just an early tap or roll or whatever. All right, Andy with some garbage up top. Would love a long bar just down the well, but all the long bars ill-timed. All right, Rahmations 472. And Andy really missing a prime opportunity to cut into this lead. But set up for the Tetris and just needs, yeah, the game just not giving long bars when you need them. Rahmations a decent board, fairly clean. Is that true, Pumpy? Pumpy said if we complete a hype train, we're more likely to be on the front page. Or are you just lying to get money? Again, Pumpy. He'll do anything for $1, that Pumpy Heart. All right, no kind of awkward placement for that S piece from Andy, but it should clear away fairly quickly. 499 Andy, 554 Rahmations. Oh, Twitch announced that this week, so there you go. Hype train level 2 complete. Oh, there you go. We have completed a level 2 hype train. Ivory 99 with the sub. Thank you so much, Ivory. Ivory says, take my money. Well, I will do that. Thank you so much. 579 Andy. Rahmations was way high up on the board on 19, but able to get that Tetris to knock it all down. Andy parity issues there over the middle of his stack. And was, for a brief moment, Andy was very close to taking this lead back, but... All right, Andy 641, Rahmations 696. Yeah, I would love to get on the front page, but I don't think we've never been on the front page. That would be super cool. We gotta figure out how to make that happen. We're supposed to have a partner, like, I don't know, manager or something, like somebody that's on our account, but we're a small account, so we probably don't know who that is. 727 for Pixel Andy. Tetris Rahmations 787. So Andy is back by about one Tetris. Front page for Reckoning? Oh, that would be great. So how do we do that? Maybe Vamche knows some insider secrets. Rahmations board getting a little monka. And up near the top of this, Andy has taken the lead. He's at 849 on 25. Rahmations board, very dependent, very high. And he's going to sneak that L over and kind of stave off maybe what is the inevitable. We'll see what happens, Rahmations. And this is not looking good for Rahmations. Rahmations is not going to survive this and will top out, and Andy will get heart number 3 and take the match. GG's Rahmations and Pixel Andy. Such a tough draw to go up against Pixel Andy in any tournament. But Rahmations did very well. Hope to see Rahmations back again. Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.